there are various methods prisoners get drugs in. The most modern one now, you may have seen it on the news, is drones. So you got the police chasing these drone operators outside of prisons. Yeah. The most common one I'm aware of is guards. The war on drugs has corrupted people from all professions. I'm not saying all guards are bad, there's good and bad in every profession. There's so much money in selling drugs to prisoners, there's always some guards that are going to bring it in. Only takes one guard to flood the whole prison with drugs. And some guards were having prisoners fight and they would bet on who was going to win. Yeah. Now another method is, in lower security prisons like minimum or medium, you can actually come and sit at a table in visitation with a prisoner. So a visitor might bring a baby, drugs are in the baby's nappy, wrapped in plastic. They sit at the table, prisoners distract the visitation officers, and while they're distracted, the drugs are extracted from the baby, passed under the table, and the prisoner shoves them in his behind. The word for it in America is called keistering. Now, most prisoners are involved in storing contrabands in their behinds because you're constantly strip searched. Contraband means drugs, syringes, cell phones, cash, weapons. After every visit, you got to get completely naked. You got to get completely naked as soon as you get arrested. They give you the same search as well. So the guard is stood a couple of feet in front of you. He tells you to go like this, completely naked. Looks in your mouth, looks in your ears, looks in your armpits. You have to raise your man parts. Then you've got to turn around, bend over, spread your buttocks wide open and cough. And they're looking right up your backside to see if you're smuggling anything in. Now the people who specialise in smuggling are called mules. They pride themselves on how many packages they can store inside themselves without them peeking out during these strip searches, and they get paid a percentage of what they bring in. There is also a foreskin search for drugs. Yeah. So the first time I'm in the strip search room and the guard says, "Pull your foreskin back," I'm like, "What? Are you serious?" And I say, "What do you think's going to be under my foreskin?" There's definitely no weapons under there. Maybe it's like drugs, you know, they get drugs under the foreskin. So, yeah, it takes a lot of getting used to just pulling your foreskin back and having a guy just like kind of crouch down and stare at your helmet. and you just got to stay there until he's finished Peter gazing, they call it, in the prison. A lot of Peter gazing goes on in the shower as well. There's a lot of gay play. Now I'm lucky because I got to prison after the finger wave had been ruled unconstitutional in federal court in the Arizona prison system. And the finger wave was in the strip search room. They stripped you out, made you do all the search I just said, then put the rubber glove on, had you bend over and shoved the finger in your arse. Yeah. And what happened was some prisoners were getting raped and sexual assaults were occurring in Japan, and they didn't have the finger wave out there. They stuffed a glass rod into your anus to see if you were storing anything in your anus, and when it came to the Japanese strip searches. Yeah. So again, be careful overseas.